Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Gen Z Talks Money. Let me start off this video by letting everyone know that I am not a certified financial planner or a legal financial advisor. So everything that I'm going to be speaking about in this episode comes from my personal opinion, my personal experience, and it's solely for the purpose of entertaining the audience, the people watching back home, and not as a legal and financial recommendation. With that being said, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics ever, and that's investing. A lot of people have a misconception about investing, or they have the most common questions, which are, how do I start investing, and what do I invest in, and what are the things I need to be aware of when I'm investing? So in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down what are the best investments that you could be doing this year on 2020, how can you actually start them up, how can you open these investments up, and what are the simple pros and cons that these investments provide. So without further ado, let's get started with this episode. The first way to start investing this year is opening a high yield interest savings account. This type of accounts usually help us keep up with inflation, now saying that inflation is roughly 2%. For those that don't know what inflation is, I'll put it simple for you. It's an increase in price and a fall in your purchasing power. So the money that you have in cash or the money that you have sitting in your bank account will have diminished 2% because of the inflation rate. And at the same time, whatever price tag everything had is gonna be 2% more by the end of the year as well. So with these types of accounts, at least you're giving yourself equal balance with inflation and you're keeping up with inflation, that's how we call it. Making your money stay up at the same pace of inflation and not losing money over time while you have it sitting in your bank account. Personally, I bank with Capital One and I have their 360 performance account because they yield a 1.7% at the moment. But just to give you an idea of how this interest rate works, they are tied up to the federal interest rate that we currently have set by the Federal Reserve. So let's say that the Federal Reserve pushes the interest rate to 3%, there's going to be more space for these type of accounts to actually increase in their yielding percentage and give you more interest rate for your money. Now keep in mind that there are a couple of banks that are giving 2% in these type of accounts. Now the problem might be that they're completely online banks, and there's no problem with that because the way it works is you link an external account, let's say your personal bank account, with this bank, and you can transfer money in between the savings and the checkings account that you have and that bank. Now the second way to invest this year, and this is where I'm going to be spending the most time in this video, is in the stock market. Now for all of those that are not familiar with the stock market, let's say it's a place where public companies like Apple, Microsoft, and Tesla trade part ownership of their company, and where they look for funding from us, the shareholders, for them to carry out different projects or ideas that they might have. Now, us as shareholders, what do we get back? You get to participate in the profits that the company have, but you also get to participate in the fluctuation of the stock price. The idea is that you buy into the company's stock at a specific price point. Then over time, that price goes up and you get to sell your share or your stock at a much more higher value than when you bought into it, making you a capital gain and profiting from the good decisions that that company had that led them to be at that exact point. Now, there are two ways that you can be investing in the stock market, either actively or passively. Actively investing consists of hand-picking stocks. So let's say I'm gonna hand-pick Tesla stock, I'm gonna hand-pick AMD stock, Uber stock, and Apple stock. Now, I'm betting my money, or I'm putting my money in these 4 specific stocks, hoping for them in the future to be much more than what I had initially invested in it. Now, passively investing, well, the definition is right there on the word. Let's say that you decided to invest in an index fund. The idea here is that when you put your money in an index fund in a more passive way, you're not selecting specific stocks that if tomorrow the stock price falls of one of your 4 stocks that I picked recently, well, my portfolio won't devalue in value as much as if I would have invested in an index fund. So you decide what type of investor you want to be, either active or passive. But you need to keep in mind that at the moment of investing and putting your money somewhere, you need to understand that investment. You need to either understand the market, understand what's going on with your money, how will it eventually grow, or how will it eventually devalue in value, depending on what is it that you're investing. To start investing in the stock market, you might have the idea that it's pretty hard and you're not alone. A lot of people think like that, but it's actually very easy. You need to open a brokerage account, which will usually take you around 5 minutes to do so, And I'll leave a link down here below of the one that I'm using right now, which is Robinhood. You could also use different brokerage accounts, like the one that TD Ameritrade provides, or the one from Charles Schwab, as well as Webull. Now, the benefit with these brokerage accounts is that they have $0 commission fee. So whenever you buy and you sell a stock, you're not charged anything as you would if you would have done it a couple years back. Now, there's also a third way that I wanted to include of how you can actually be investing your money in the stock market, and that's by dividend investing. Dividend investing consists of buying into a stock, but not for the purpose of the potential upside at the future, but for the purpose of the dividends that they provide you, either monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. How companies manage to do this is that they give back a specific percentage of their earnings to their shareholder. This is a base to start off your passive income, because regarding the stock price, you're going to be getting your dividends each and every month or each and every quarter, and that money you could use it however you want. Now, the best way to actually use that money is to reinvest it in the same stock, and that way you could build up the money that you're going to be getting back each time that you get paid the dividends from that company. Another way that you could start investing this year, and personally this is the best way that you could spend your money and invest it in 2020, is to invest in yourself. By this I mean reading books, either buying a different course, or educating yourself on a matter that really interests you. Now keep this in mind for a second. Whenever you're invested in the stock market, you always have the potential of losing money and even losing your principal. But whenever you invest in yourself, that's the only investment that you're going to carry for the rest of your life, and you're never going to lose. It is very important, and I cannot hesitate this much more, that educating yourself and having knowledge is the best investment that you can make for the rest of your life. So with that being said, those are the top 3 ways that I think you can be investing your money right now. If you have any doubt of anything that I've mentioned in this video, please feel free to go ahead and send me a direct message on Instagram. I would be more than happy to answer any question that you might have. And don't forget that the $250 giveaway is still live. Just go to my Instagram page and you'll see on the second to last post the instructions for that giveaway. I really can't be more grateful of all the people that are watching my videos. I really appreciate that you take up your spare time to watch these videos and to support me with a simple like and a subscribe. So if you're not part of the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be making content like this. I'm going to be trying to upload every Thursday or in between time whenever I can. Share this video for anyone that you think it's going to be helpful for. And I really appreciate you once again for watching the video. I'll catch you on the next time on Gen Z Talks Money. Bye-bye.